What is going on, everybody? Welcome into episode 68 of To The Show We Go. We got a full house today. Our boxes are a little smaller on if you're watching on YouTube, but I got Chris Enrique, I got Jamie, I got Miggy, myself, and obviously it's the David Sandlin episode. So thank you all for tuning in for that. And David, I feel like you were probably one of the hottest commodities on Red Sox Twitter within the past week, aside from, I guess, potential free agent ads, whatever. That's just a whole other crazy element. But David Sandlin, trade in from the Kansas City Royals. And I kind of just want to start us off a little bit. I want to just ask, obviously, with the trade in the rearview mirror now, you're getting settled in Fort Myers. How has the last week and a half been treating you?
It's been awesome getting down here. All the guys welcomed me really well and everything. The training staff, everybody around the Red Sox, it really made me feel at home. And it's been a quick turnaround week. I mean, I planned on being out in Arizona with the Royals leaving Monday, and then had to switch that to other side of the country in Fort Myers. So happened quick, but I'm excited to be out here getting back to baseball.
And I do before I shoot to Jamie on some questions here, but I just want to ask straight, like just out of the shoot here. Obviously, the trade goes down. First time you've ever been involved in something like that. So, can you just kind of take us through a little bit of, I guess, when you found out? I'm sure it was a surprise to you. I'm sure you weren't expecting that on the bingo card for the week. But can you just take us through, I guess the day of the trade and I guess the first couple days with being a member of the Red Sox?
Yeah, so I was actually down in Arlington for the OU baseball series, opening series down there. So I went to the game that night, got to talk to some of the people in the Royals organization and everything. And then the next morning, my alarm goes off in the morning. And I was like, I kind of want 15 more minutes of sleep. So shut it off, set it for 15 minutes later. And then my phone started buzzing. And I saw it was our head of development with the Royals. And I was like, okay, I wonder why he's calling me. Started off with a normal conversation and everything, and then he told me that I had been traded from Kansas City to Boston, and it kind of like shocked me for a second. I didn't register it, and then kind of got talking. Said like, "Hey, the news will break soon, but you should get a call from the Red Sox here soon." So like, got off the phone, and I think my dad, who was with me at the time, and my roommate from junior college, kind of like looked at me, and they could tell something was up. And so I told them that happened, and then got on the phone with some of the people inside the Red Sox organization. And from there, it was just kind of a whirlwind. Obviously, kind of got crazy on Twitter there for a second. And all my friends across any team I've ever been on texting and calling me, coaches texting and calling me and everything. So it was a lot of phone calls with people inside the Royals organization getting my farewells and everything, and then a lot of calls getting planned to get down here and get to work with the Red Sox.
And one follow up, and Jamie L, you can butt in after, but what was it like? I guess once it did kind of sink in, you were officially now a member of the Red Sox, and I'm sure you had plenty of introductory calls from, like you said, the staff in the Red Sox org. But I guess what were your first, I guess, takeaways from getting the chat with, I'm assuming, Craig Breslow and company?
I mean, it was awesome. Obviously, it was an honor to get traded for a guy at the magnitude that John Schreiber really had for the team, for Boston and everything. Has had some excellent years in recent memory out of the relief position in the bullpen. So I thought that was obviously really cool, and I figured out that it was a one-for-one trade with him. But then getting to talk to them, I think they were just excited to get me down here, get some bullpens going, see, get ready to work. And I was on the same page with the injury last year. It's been a while since been in a game situation, so just getting ready for that got me really fired up and ready to go.
And going back to your college days, what was it like to play in the College World Series and that run you and the Oklahoma team went on?
Man, that it was surreal. playing in front of 25,000 people, whether they're cheering your name or cursing your name, cheering against you. I mean, it was an electric atmosphere. And it's always a goal for any guy that plays at the Division I level, and it's a truly special experience. And it's something that I know me and all the guys on that team and the guys on the other teams that were there will carry with us for a long time, and it really helps you kind of build that confidence to play in front of that crowd, to move on to the next level, and you'll play in front of similar crowds, even in the minor leagues.
I saw you and your teammates called yourselves a bunch of Davids. Going to that, what's kind of the backstory with that?
So I think we kind of saw ourselves as the biblical story, David versus Goliath. We weren't the biggest team. We didn't have the most power. We didn't throw the hardest necessarily or anything like that. We were just a bunch of scrappy dudes that wanted to go out there and get the job done every day, playing juggernauts of college baseball that people saw, such teams as like Tennessee and stuff like that. So we kind of carried that motto of David's because no one really expected us to win or play to that magnitude.
And did you get to explore a lot of like outside the stadium during it?
Can you say that again?
Did you get to explore like a lot of Omaha, kind of doing stuff outside the stadium?
No, they kind of kept us under wraps, and I think we were really just focused on baseball. We got to go see the old grounds at Rosenblatt, and that was really it. I mean, most of the time, other than that, we were either practicing at the hotel, just hanging out, or we'd go watch other games at Charles Schwab.
You can't really talk about the College World Series without, referencing back to your 12 strikeout game. Kind of how often do you go back and relive that?
Sometimes I'll go try to watch it if I'm in a slump or something, just to try to get back that confidence and that fire I had that game and everything. But I try not to hang up on it too much because a lot of people forget I also had a not so good outing out of relief in the College World Series. So I have a mixed feeling and everything about it. Like, obviously loved what I did that game. I had a great game plan from Skip, and Jimmy behind the plate called a great game. But I mean, it was just another game. Just wanted to go out there and help my team win.
I did. So I think Miggy brought this up earlier, and I was curious about it too. Obviously, going from a JUCO to a program like you did seemed like a pretty large step to take. So, was it kind of like when you got to OU? Was it one of those things where it was just like, holy cow, like this is like a next level to what you were used to?
Some aspects, yeah. I mean, I think I was truly blessed to go to play at Eastern Oklahoma State the years I played there. The coaching staff there, Justin Oney, Noe Rees, and Matt Parker were phenomenal, and they really tried to build us up to get us ready for that next level, Division I, Division II, wherever we all decided to go. Obviously, facility-wise and stuff like that, training staff, those are all going to be upgrades with the bigger budget and everything, and being at a bigger school. But I mean, other than that, we had the technology like Rapsodo and stuff at junior college. Had a good weight plan, good pitching plan, and everything. So all that kind of stuff was an easy transition. The baseball side was a very easy transition to the Division I level.
And so, go ahead, Miggy.
No, I was just going to talk about, you were at the JUCO during the time of COVID. Obviously, you had a shortened season and everything like that. What kind of kept you mentally there, trying to stay on the course to, eventually reach your childhood goal, become professional and everything?
I think it was a mixture of the year I started off having. My first year at junior college was a little bit underwhelming to myself and wasn't what I wanted it to be, and I knew I could do better. And then, of course, with COVID happening and everything, I knew that kind of showed me that baseball can be taken away at any moment, and so can really anything that we do. So I really spent that time in that off season and everything. I think I texted my pitching coach more than he wanted to deal with me during that COVID time, just game planning, what I should be working on, what lift styles I should be doing, what drills. People like, I know the big guy with velocity at that time I was junior college was Luke Little. Kind of the drills he was doing, drills Verlander would be doing. So I think it was a mixture of me just wanting to be better because I knew I could be better, and just realizing that, like, man, who knows when this game's going to go away, when my last game's going to be.
And I want to talk about you as the pitcher now. So obviously you have gotten your feet wet in professional ball. You've made it up to high A in the Royals system. I've seen this a lot too with guys that are coming through the system. Obviously, like, you know, you have guys that started all throughout their college career, then they'll get drafted, and then their stuff is just better suited for the bullpen. I mean, it happens all the time. So I guess for you, obviously you started every game you've pitched in. I think there was only like one game at Oklahoma you didn't start in. But when did you kind of realize you're like, okay, like, I'm going to do this starting thing and I'm going to just do it for the long haul?
I mean, that's kind of the role I always kind of fit into. Even my senior year of high school, I maybe came out of the pen one time, and first year at junior college, just getting my feet wet, I came out of the pen a little bit more because guys in front of me were pitching better than me, like Christian McGowan, Cody Frank, Brenton Beck. They were all having great years that year. So just that second year at junior college is kind of when it kicked up, like, hey, I can be a starter and I can do it successfully. And then from the get-go, when I talked to Skip and committed to OU and everything, that was their full intention, was for me to be a starter. And same thing when I got to the Royals, was the full intention was for me to be a starter. And that's what I want to do. I want to go the longevity of 6-7 innings if possible, even 9 if I can. I want to be in there and give my team a chance to win as much possible, as many innings I can go.
So we have to talk about it. I saw in the offseason that you had hit 100 miles per hour in, I guess, like winter workouts, I guess, prior to the season. Right. I saw there was a video posted. You seemed pretty hyped up about it. So was that one of the first times that's ever happened for you? And did it honestly shock yourself that you did that?
Yeah, it was the first time. I don't think it was shocking to me. I think it was kind of unexpected for it to happen so quickly, but I know kind of how hard I've been pushing myself, especially post-injury and everything, to get my body right, taking nutrition a lot more seriously, and then just everything I've done up at Pitching Works in Oklahoma City to make my mechanics as dynamic as possible, getting down the mound efficiently as possible. So I don't think it was a surprise that it happened, just how early it happened.
I want to jump in real quick. So, excuse me. Red Sox have not been known for developing starting pitching, especially high-end starting pitching. You're coming over to the organization with that reputation that you can be someone to be at the top of the rotation potentially for this team in the future. What have the Red Sox kind of talked to you about as you've kind of transitioned into the organization, of their expectations of you right off the bat?
I mean, just the basic stuff so far. Only got one bullpen under my belt down here, but I mean, everything I've talked to them about is just normal stuff. Just get in the zone, win early ahead, throw competitive, nasty pitches in the zone, and just win against the hitter. I mean, just go out there, compete, and as long as you go out there and compete every pitch, no matter who the hitter is, no matter what the count is, no matter what the score is, like, that's really all that matters as a pitcher, is just have that same mentality from pitch to pitch, batter to batter. It doesn't matter.
What did you know about Andrew Bailey before coming to the Red Sox organization?
Not really much. I kind of, when I was with the Royals and everything, just focused on pitching. Now with Boston, I'm just going to be focusing on pitching. Don't really pay attention to anything outside or anything like that.
So you've never been a look at the prospect rankings or any of that? You've never like really paid attention to any of that?
No, I mean, sometimes I'll do it to just see where guys are and everything. especially like buddies of mine, to see how they're doing. I'll see them on a prospect list on Instagram or something. And I'll be like, okay, and go refresh their stats and everything, see how they're doing. But personally, for myself, or just to look at them, it don't really matter. Those stats don't fall, or those rankings don't follow you out onto the field, and those guys are human too. They'll have bad games, they'll have good games, and so will guys that are not on those lists. So I played plenty of guys last year that I believe probably should be on their organizational list that probably aren't on there. So I don't pay attention too much to that stuff.
I feel like it's like a common theme with a lot of guys that we've talked to in AAA as well. I feel like a lot of them don't really care too much for it. But I did want to talk about obviously about your fastball that you hit 100 during the off season, but I saw that you also threw a slider, splitter, and a curveball, I think. So how did I guess what made you land on the arsenal that you currently have, and I guess when did you kind of develop the secondary pitches?
So I've always just been a four-seam fastball guy. First pitch I learned how to throw and everything. Curveball has probably been with me. That was the second pitch I think I learned, and that's been with me probably since sophomore year of high school. Splitter, I think my high school coach, Jason Stump, picked up on. He was like, "Man, you got bigger hands." So like, I'd been struggling with the changeup I was trying to learn at the time. So that senior year, we were playing around with grips and everything. He's like, "I want you to try to throw this splitter." And the first one probably went 30 feet over the catcher's head. The first one I ever threw, just nowhere near anything. He's like, "All right, just throw it full intent and everything." So I finally like learned to start throwing. You got to throw it max intent. And when you try to take off, it's just terrible. So that's been with me since senior year. And then the slider, me and Justin Oni at Eastern just wanted to develop something a little bit harder than the curveball, but not quite like a cutter. So we landed just a traditional slider, and that's been there since probably freshman year of junior college.
When did you start seeing, I guess, your velocity start ticking up to where it is currently today? Obviously, not including like the 100 you hit, but I guess just when did you start to see that like growth? Was it during college? Was it like right after you turned professional?
I think it was a little bit both, because at junior college, I think I topped 88, or not 88, 98 that year. That COVID off season, everything, the elongated off season, really learned to fall in love with the weight room and learn mobility and everything like that to balance it out. So I think that's when the first initial velo jump hit, because that summer was the first time I hit 95. And then velo ticked up then it kind of backed off at OU. Really just at OU, focused on pitchability and everything, and learned how to sequence guys and work the strike zone. And then I tried to combine the two when I got with the Royals and everything that off season. Worked on getting my strength back up, and worked on being athletic, but being in control while being athletic on the mound.
So Jamie, Miggy, and Chris, before I hop into a speed run, I want to see if you guys have some things, anything drawn up right now.
I got one more. What were some adjustments you had to make and differences you noticed between college ball and your first year in the minors?
I think the biggest adjustment I actually had to make was don't overvalue the hitters. Obviously, you think like, oh, you're in professional baseball now, like these guys are just gonna demolish something, and like obviously they are better hitters, and they will have better tools and everything. But as long as you execute your plan on the mound and execute pitch to pitch, like they're still human. They're still a hitter that you fail 7 times out of 10. They're a Hall of Famer. So it's just not overvaluing them to where you start nibbling on corners, and that's when your walk rate and everything goes up. Just attacking them like any other guy is at the plate.
Chris
Now-
kind of mentioned like what goals the Red Sox had set for you. What goals have you personally set for yourself going into this season? Joining the organization, everything.
I mean, I think my biggest goal is just carry that attitude out every game. Just that kind of F you attitude. I'm going to throw 4-pitch arsenal down your throat for 6 to 7 innings, and you're not going to do anything about it. But I think just continue to working on my stuff, get the fastball, keep that metrically where it is, increase the off speeds metrically to where the Red Sox and I think they should be, and just keep the strikes up, balls down, walk rate down, strikeouts up, just simple stuff like that.
Chris, did you?
I was gonna say I love with the mentality, like the way you just mentioned it, with that, like the FU mentality. Like I think when people hear that, when we go into like the podcast, that's the type of stuff that Red Sox fans like to hear. What when you get on the mound, like what do you do like pregame to kind of get yourself psyched for it? Is there any sort of certain ritual that you do? Like what's like a typical game day look like for you?
So the night before, actually, I usually watch just one of the Star Wars movies. Doesn't matter which one. I will watch a Star Wars movie. Typically, it tends to be Revenge of the Sith more than any of the other ones. But the day of, I mean, I'll just be in the locker room, listening to music, and I mean, just being in that atmosphere of playing a baseball game. And that's why I love being a pitcher so much. It's really you got 8 guys behind you, but it's you versus him when you release that ball. So that one-on-one matchup really just gets me fired up to beat someone one-on-one like that. It's a lot of fun to just stick it to them, say you're better than them, and they have to deal with it till the next time they come around the order.
What's your favorite Star Wars movie? Is it Revenge of the Sith?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What's your least favorite out of everything that's been released?
Probably I think it's episode 8. I forget what the name of it is now. The one after Force Awakens. I can't even remember. Last Jedi. No, that one's all right. Not great.
Why is Star Wars the go-to movie in that situation?
I don't know. I've always just been a really big Star Wars fan. And it's kind of something I started doing with one of my roommates at OU, Carson Atwood. We one week had a Star Wars marathon, and I think that was the week that I went and pitched down at Globe Life against Texas, and that was my first and only shutout that year. And against that kind of team, that rival, it kind of just stuck with me since then. And being an avid Star Wars fan, like those movies kind of get me, I guess, fired up a little bit.
That is 2 episodes in a row, by the way. We had I don't know if you've gotten to meet the Aussie in the Red Sox camp, Adam Bates. You would know if you talk to him because his accent's pretty good. But he watches. He said Star Wars is his go-to. Revenge of the Sith is his movie that he watches before he pitches, and you'll meet him eventually. If you hear the Aussie accent down in the locker room, you'll know it. He just got here from Australia, so.
Perfect. I'll ask him if he wants to come over sometime. We can watch it together.
It'd be good commentary, man, with the accent, man. It's so nice to listen to. Something interesting. But all right, guys, I got a speed run, and we're gonna do it a little differently here. So when I ask a question and like when we get the answer, like all 3 of you guys can just like, if you guys just got stuff you want to add, just throw it in there. And it's not really gonna be a speed run, but whatever. If you're up for it, David, I got like 17 questions. All right.
Let's do it.
They're non-baseball related for the most part. So
okay.
it's to get to know you like off the diamond a little bit, because that's what we like to do here at the show.
Okay.
You might have already answered this first question, but I got to start it out because it's good dialogue. But are you a movies, shows, or live TV guy?
Movies. Absolutely.
All right, so you may have also already answered this, but what is the best baseball game you've ever played in? Like, what is the most memorable one that sticks out?
The College World Series game against A&M.
It's fair. Give me a song that's on repeat in your head.
Enter Sandman by Metallica.
If you had a walkout song in 24, would that be that?
Every year. Every single year.
Okay. You're a young guy, but so I'm gonna modify this a little bit because I usually have to. So you're ripe 23. So by the age of 28, you want to have accomplished what?
Shoot. This obviously big league debut, and by that time, 28, so that's 5 years away. I want to win a World Series and win it with the Red Sox, obviously.
I think that's a pretty good answer. It's probably as good as you can get. You're new to professional baseball, but if there was one rule in the minors or in the MLB that you could change, which one would it be?
This would be for college too, actually. And they just changed it a little bit, but the lane to first base rule. I think they either need to continue to make it a little bit bigger, or if they want the guys to run on the outside of the foul line, put a safety bag at first.
Okay. What do you? I just have to ask. Quick answer here if you want. But what are your thoughts on the old pitch clock?
I'm fast tempo, so it doesn't bother me. It's whatever.
Okay. Who's a favorite athlete outside of baseball?
Russell Westbrook.
Sheesh. All right. It's expected like a Kobe or something, not a Russell, but it comes with the territory. Oklahoma.
Oh yeah.
All right. Favorite TV show of all time?
Man, that's probably Suits. I'll go with Suits.
All right.
He's like the 10th guy I feel like we've had on that said that.
I love Suits.
Great show. It's a great show.
Are you a Mike or Harvey guy? If you had to choose between the two,
Mike. I'll roll with Mike.
I've never seen it, so I don't know what.
Never seen it either.
You both are missing out. It's a great show. It's one of the, you could probably get through it in a week if you just hump it down.
I don't know about that. It's like 9 seasons. I think like 14 episodes a season.
I'm going to tell you. So we interviewed Morgan McSweeney from the Orioles, and he mentioned that Suits was his show. And I had just finished watching it during the summer. And this is like around Thanksgiving, a little bit after. And I went back into watching the series again, and I got it done in a week. I work remotely too, so I can have it on all the time. But I got it within a week.
Wow, that's impressive.
Congrats, Chris. Jeez.
Yeah, I'll open a window every once in a while, get fresh air.
I think I remember his quote. Morgan McSweeney said he should be put in jail for how much Suits he watched in that 1 week, and I do remember that. So, okay. Next question here. What's the weirdest baseball superstition you've ever had?
I don't really think I have any weird ones. I guess it would be the Star Wars. Everything else is, I think, pretty normal. I think there for a stint, I ate the same game day meal before every game, which was I actually got it for dinner tonight. Was a sunrise sunset smoothie and a Chipotle chicken club from Tropical Smoothie. Before every game, I would have that last year for minor leagues.
It's a little better option than we've heard on here. I feel like the nutritionist isn't going to hate you for that one. So,
oh yeah, at least it's healthy, so they didn't give me too much of a hard time for it.
Yeah, we've heard a lot worse on the show that probably could have got guys into some trouble. So, all right, this one's gonna be a tough one, but going back to your Royals days and Oklahoma, and even before that, I need one player that sticks out to you that you've played with or against that's left you like, holy cow, that guy is the best I've ever seen in person. It's a tough one. You've played with some good dudes.
Played a lot against a lot of good dudes too. Dude. On the mound, I would say probably Andrew Walling, who's with the Phillies now, is the most mind-blowing pitcher that I've seen in game. And then I guess hitting and fielding, but mainly for the fielding aspect, Mac McCroskey with the Angels now, from Oral Roberts, and went to junior college with him. That dude, is the definition of a Gold Glove infielder. There was no play he couldn't make. It was absurd.
All right, write that name down, Chris.
Already did.
It's good. It gets us like, once we hear these names, it's like, okay, we need to start paying attention to that name. That we need to get familiar with that name because if you guys are saying that they're probably one of the better you've seen, it's like they're probably pretty damn good.
Playing against would be obviously Ivan Melendez. What he did in 2022 was absurd. I mean, that dude could mash a baseball.
Nobody's gonna argue with that.
Nope.
All right. What's a guilty pleasure of David Sandlin?
I actually just talked with my roommate about this. Probably just how much homemade ice cream I'll go eat. Homemade ice cream is the best. And
what flavor?
I'll fluctuate. There's dulce de leche is really good. Mint chocolate chips good. Butter pecan, just chocolate. I mean, I'll eat any flavor. It's just the homemade aspect of it just kicks it up a notch.
Did you see a few years back the mac and cheese ice cream that came out?
Okay, not that. I can't swing with that. But
how about the ranch flavor?
Yeah, that'd be a little excessive even for me.
Wish I could eat ice cream, guys. I'm just like, I'm not built for it anymore. I don't know why, man. I turned into a weirdo.
We'll do it for you.
Yeah.
Let's get on a food kick here. I got some food ones for you. Hopefully you've eaten. It's already 7:30, so hopefully. What's a go-to pregame snack?
Pregame snack, I'm actually a big fan of either a Rice Krispie treat or sweet tart ropes, the strawberry ones specifically. I usually will get a little bit of those for the simple sugars in them to just give me a little bit of go at the start of a game.
All right. Worst topping to put on a pizza, then give me your best topping.
I can't deal with pineapple. The pineapple is just that one's stressful to me.
The controversial one, man.
The best is either pepperoni or I would say second to that is probably jalapenos.
All right. This one's important. So you're officially now, well, I guess you never went to OU when they were in the SEC, obviously, because it's about to happen. But
right.
I have a lot of faith in you just because you went to school in the southern state. So I need your favorite fast food fried chicken chain.
Okay, the thing with that is, are we talking just the chicken or can you have the sauce with it?
I'm nervous when you add that part in because I've had some.
If you have to add sauce, it's not good chicken.
I like that.
Well, the sauce just takes it over other chicken. The Cane's. The Cane sauce just kicks it
That's
above.
what I still would have said.
Come on, man.
Without
the
other
sauce.
than that, okay, then I'd probably just stick with Chick-fil-A, just something simple.
All right, man. The correct answer was Zaxby's. I had a lot of faith in you.
Zaxby's is okay. Zaxby's 3, and then probably Slim's is after that.
How's that 3?
Because you got Chick-fil-A, Cane's. I'm still rocking with Cane's, and then Zaxby's.
All right, man. I'm not gonna argue with that. Yeah, that's incredible because it's like Zaxby's is only like you've been in Oklahoma almost your whole life, so I was expecting Zaxby's out of you because you can't get it up north. So,
have you ever had crispy crunchy chicken?
Crispy crunchy chicken?
Yeah, I think they're in Oklahoma based.
No.
Well, I know they've started to branch out towards Arkansas, so I didn't know if they had any there in Oklahoma. Or I know they have them in Oklahoma. I just didn't know if you had tried there.
I might need to try it then. Is it better than Zaxby's?
Oh, come on. Dude. Don't even say that.
The couple times I've had it, yes.
Okay.
It's better
I'll
than
be
Cane's. I can tell you that.
Then I'll definitely be trying it then.
Just take a piece of glass and grind it in an Andrew's hand right now.
All right, man. You had Chicken Express. Is that made its way to Oklahoma from Texas?
Yeah, I've only had it or not even a handful, probably a couple of times. And it was good. But I don't think I've had it enough to really fairly judge it.
Fair. There's a Hunter Dobbins. He's a Texas Tech guy in the system, but he talks about Chicken Express all day, every day. So
Yeah, I've
all
met
right.
Hunter, so I'll have to bring that up to him tomorrow.
Oh man, if you got like that sweet tea or something shipped in and just put it at his locker, you would probably become his favorite person on the entire earth. It would probably make his day.
All right.
All right, enough about food. That's all my food ones. I did have one last question,
Okay.
and it's Oklahoma related. When did it, I guess, officially become a thing for you that you hated the Longhorns?
Easy.
Shots fired.
I mean, it was kind of just living in Oklahoma. You kind of grow up around it, and then I kind of started to understand it when I started to heavily become an OU fan. Like I watched OU, rooted for them more often than Oklahoma State growing up, and then when Baker was there, that's what kind of ignited it in me. I was like, oh my gosh, like I love this guy, and then I was like, this university is awesome. And then when I got there, just kind of seeing how Texas fans would interact with us, and especially that series down there, I got on the mound. I heard my name getting called several different things, and that's when I was like, all right, like I'm gonna get after these guys and screw over this fan base. Like this is on them. If I do good, they fired me up. So
I love it. I mean, well, I'm a Mizzou guy, so I mean, I don't really. We get beat by everybody, but we don't like Texas. I'll tell you that. So, and we used to not like Oklahoma, but we don't play them anymore. But all right, well, as long as you don't bump into Chase Shugart or David Hamilton, I think you should be fine. They were the Texas corner in the Woo Sox locker room this past year, and Shug will let you know too. I'm sure he knows that you're floating around. So just be careful when you bump into him.
that sounds good.
All right, guys, let's empty the bench here. David's giving us like 40 minutes at a time. All you guys, what do you got left in the tank?
When you're not on the baseball field, what are your favorite things to do just in your spare time?
Usually just either golf, playing video games, or just hanging out with either my girlfriend or some of my buddies, just doing whatever we think is going to be fun that day, I guess. Just hanging out with people, being social.
Are you prepared to buy the new NCAA football game this summer?
Absolutely. Yes. As soon as is it on pre-order yet? I don't think it is, but as soon as it is, I'm pre-ordering it.
Who's an OU player that, because we haven't had the game in a few years, who is the one player that you think you've missed out on using the most in that game?
Probably the biggest cheat code has to be like Kyler. That one, I feel like you could have just abused his speed in that game.
I don't even want to think about that.
It's got to be Kyler.
I mean, Baker, though.
Baker, yeah, would have been fun. I think it would have been fun, though. Yeah, because that year you would have had Mark Andrews, Hollywood Brown, CeeDee Lamb. So using that team would have been absurd.
Oh,
all that talent
yeah.
and no national championship.
Easy. We know.
All right. Well, my answer, I know he was in the game back when it was a thing, but I still would love to go back and I don't know why. I was a big Sam Bradford guy. I don't know why. Like I liked Bradford a lot. And then I lived in the St. Louis area when he got drafted to the Rams, which whatever, if he was a bust, whatever. But it was still fun to watch him his rookie year. And then he kind of tanked out after that. But all right, guys, any last questions before we let him off here?
Thanks for your time, man.
I appreciate it. It was fun. I like the food questions and everything. That was a good little segment.
No, it's good. Like it's something too. It's right. Like Chris always likes to say it too, is like we can look at your baseball reference page and we can just list off like you went 3-1 with a 2 point something ERA and be like, how'd that feel? It's like, oh, like I feel like there's a lot more to you than just like what the stat sheet says, and that's what we like to do here. So but we appreciate it a ton coming on, and definitely looking forward to you getting your feet wet there. And wherever you end up getting signed, I'm not going to throw out any projections or anything, but wherever you end up getting assigned, we'll be rooting for you. So thank you, David.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me.